Believe it or not, Darxide was meant to be a launch title for the ill-fated Neptune, a standalone 32X console that would have done away with the awkward installation of the add-on and the need for a second AC adapter. In spite of this, Darxide received a limited release in Europe. Aside from FIFA Soccer 96, this is the only other 32X game exclusive to the region. While some speculate that fewer than 1,000 copies were produced, I've yet to find anything in print or online that would support such a claim. I've read a few articles stating this is the holy grail of 32X collecting, though recent online sales don't reflect that. Not to say Darxide is cheap, because it's not, no way. For such a rare game, you'd imagine having to pay a king's ransom just for the instructions. Much to my surprise, it's on par with Web of Fire, a complete copy sold recently for as little as $500. Anyway, many critics have touched on Darxide already, though it's typically emulation. I opted for a reproduction, and for good reason. First, let's discuss the gameplay. As you can see, it's a 3D space shooter where you are a lone starfighter having to defend the Earth from alien invaders. Yeah, I've never heard that tale before. Like, ever. Its arcade-like simplicity proved to be a bone of contention for players and critics, often dismissing it as a kind of 3D asteroids. I'd accept that if all 10, yes, 10 levels centered around destroying more and more asteroids, with the occasional flying saucer thrown in for good measure. Instead, the game ups the ante with every mission. The first level has you destroying asteroids and saucers. That's it. Sounds simple, though many players find it damn near impossible. Why is that? In my opinion, it's the HUD. Take a moment and focus on the information provided here. I'm sure much of it is obvious, like the latitude and longitude, the radar, energy and shield indicators, your score, standard stuff, right? Well, would you have guessed that the game is timed? Fucking A, there's a time limit, but where's the counter? This is your time limit. No lie. Thanks to this fantastic article written by Knuckles87 of SegaBits.com, I knew this long before I picked up a controller. The mission ends once your ship reaches the moon. The number next to your ship indicates how many lives you have, while this represents the mission you're on. It makes sense, but I would not have known this had I not read the article first. Not right away, at least. Destroying asteroids and saucers is a constant throughout, though your third objective will differ from mission to mission. Also, the number of asteroids diminishes as you progress. Thank fucking Lord, because destroying these space rocks can be frustrating early on, since they'll first break up into 2 big pieces, then 4 tiny pieces. Of course, it's fucking space, so they scatter and you have to chase after them, which is made worse by the shallow draw distance. Like I said, they're slowly phased out, and you'll earn weapon upgrades along the way. Later missions have you taking out alien bombers, protecting shuttles, and rescuing miners. God, rescuing miners can be infuriating at times since they rest on the asteroids. So you gotta shoot that big rock, followed by smaller rocks, then scoop up the miners before they explode. Darxide makes you multitask like a motherfucker, and it has induced some serious fits of pre-adolescent rage. I wanted to chuck this fucker in the rubbish several times, but on the flip side, I appreciated the challenge, and there's no denying the satisfaction felt whenever I took down a saucer or saved a miner. When I see that mission successful screen appear, I feel like a goddamn champion. I fucking earned my victory. To me, that's the mark of a good game. One gripe most players share are the controls, though I disagree. Inverted controls aren't an issue here, seeing as how you can switch between inverted and normal in the options. Some say they're slippery or too sensitive. Admittedly, they differ from Star Wars Arcade and Shadow Squadron, where you have to hold down the throttle in order to maintain speed in both games. Here, I'd equate this to setting the volume on your television. This game makes full use of the 6-button arcade pad, so I wouldn't even attempt the 3-button. In fact, I didn't, so I'm sorry. Still, controls are responsive with 0 lag. Just take some time to acquaint yourself and you'll be golden. Now the graphics. I think it's safe to say that Darxide has the best 3D presentation on 32X, outshining Metalhead, the only other 32X game to make use of texture map polygon renderings. It's quite a sight, really. There are a lot of effects on display. 3D fighters and objects, sprite scaling and rotation in conjunction with pre-rendered animation, light sourcing, and a decent frame rate. Like T-Mech, it can be erratic when there's too much going on, but it doesn't distract from the game. These cutscenes, though, damn, it's just chugging away there. Wow. If you should run this on an emulator, the frame rate runs consistently smooth. That's why I went reproduction over emulation. I mean, this is how the game looks and plays while running on real hardware, blemishes and all. This was an achievement, and it should be experienced as intended, on a 32X. The audio isn't as remarkable as the visuals, though it's pretty damn good. Sound effects are loud and clear, and the music's classic Genesis. Yeah, bathe in that synthesized wave of Sonic. Awesome. I may be in the minority, but I've been digging on this game for almost a year now with no end in sight. The gameplay is very been there, done that, and the learning curve's a little steep. Regardless, Darxide has plenty of action and challenge to hold my interest. Enough to spend $500? No fucking way. $50? Yeah, totally.